Coming to you live from the Chamber of Hunter Studios, this is Hunting You. I'm John Schelt.
And I'm Leslie Reed.
You will notice the absence of Coyote Hutton not in our intro. He is floating in the Pacific Ocean right now. I think last check trying to help land a helicopter, if I recall correctly. So he is unable to join us.
Which is a sad day because we have an extra special episode. And tonight we have a very, very special set of guests. We have our executive producers, Brady, Connell, and Felicia White from the Great Halloween Fright Fight on ABC, joining us to talk about the show and talk about home haunting and everything that we here at Haunting You are all about.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Very happy to be here.
We are so excited to have you guys because again, this is such a great opportunity just to again to have you guys and to expand on what you guys are doing with Fright Fight, which is awesome.
It's amazing. It's we know the home haunt industry pretty well at this point, and it's so nice to finally see someone bring a little bit more just shine a light onto it than the creativity and the innovation for some of those people. So we're excited to do this. We're excited you guys are involved.
We're happy to be a part of your world. We know there have been home haunts around for a long time, and
yes.
we realize we're sort of outsiders and are documenting all of the amazing work that is done out there. And we appreciate the warm welcome that we received from the community.
Let's kind of just start with introductions. You guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves and kind of how you got into this show and everything else. We'll start there.
You go first, Felicia.
Hi, I am Felicia White. I have been on the show since the very beginning. Brady brought me on. Well, I should say I've been on the Great Christmas Light Fight since the very beginning. For those who don't know, this is a spin-off. An extension of that franchise, the Halloween version 2.0. And Brady asked me to come help just part-time temporary 12 years ago, and I never left.
Excellent.
That's how the best jobs work.
It really is.
And then and I'm Brady Connell and been doing, reality, nonfiction, documentary type television for a long time, for over almost 35 years now. And worked on some fun shows, but I'll tell you, spending a decade documenting Christmas lights and now Halloween haunts, I can't imagine it getting any better. So really, it's a lot of fun to go out there and travel around the country and meet incredibly creative people who are oftentimes doing it with very little resources. And we feel grateful to have something so fun to document and, like you said, John, to share with the world.
Awesome. And yeah, I can only imagine traveling around the country, seeing all the creativity, all the people just putting so much passion into it. I can only imagine how many cool things you guys have seen for the home haunts and the Christmas stuff. Kay would also like to pick your brains on the Christmas stuff. He's literally sick. He can't be here right now.
It's really is because he is both our fearless leader and kind of the initiator of the whole podcast, because when he was out in Colorado for a educational sabbatical from the Coast Guard, we were actually able to put on 2 significant home haunts. And once he went back and was stationed on a boat, he wanted something to do to keep up with Halloween. So we started the podcast, and we've been doing this now since 2017.
Oh man, something like that.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
He really drives a lot of what we do, and then John and I bring in our expertise. But he's also a huge Christmas lights, and he puts on a massive show every year as well.
Love it.
Again, it's really sad that he can't be here, and we miss him terribly.
It really is. He sort of infects whatever he's working on, even if he can't do the haunted house, the home haunt like he would like. I think just a couple years ago, he somehow talked his captain for one of his ships into turning the ship into a haunt. So yeah, exactly. I'm surprised he pulled that off. But no matter where he is, he's going to find a way to bring Halloween into it.
Yep. And it's really hard to tell him no, because he does. He is so invested and involved, just like all of the guests that you guys have had and contestants that you've had on Fright Fight.
Well, hopefully we do many more and he can be a bigger part.
Oh yeah.
I hope so. This is great. So kind of how did you guys get into television?
Ooh, that's a big one. We'll keep it short though.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of careers, it can be an accident, it can kind of be an accident, but mine was kind of just combination of wanting it and also an accident. I last year of college, very last year of college, I started taking it was a history of film class, and I had to do an internship and completely changed direction from political science and all that, and decided to go head first into entertainment just in general. I didn't even know how to get started in television versus film, and certainly the all the internet work ahead wasn't even on the horizon. But just started working at the bottom, production assistant, and worked all the way up. It's been a great ride. I think Felicia's had something similar, probably.
Mine was a little more intentional though, because time I came on the scene, reality was like starting to really be a more formidable career, and so I kind of purposely dove in. I thought, okay, this is going to be like making documentaries, but making money. and so that's
important.
What I wanted to do. Of course, now you can make money making documentaries too. So
yeah,
that's a good point. Those my first 15 years was I didn't know one person. Literally, I didn't know one person who wanted to get into like reality and nonfiction television. Everybody was wanting to get into film or maybe scripted television, but sure. It was not an aspiration. It really wasn't, as you know, it wasn't until Survivor came along that people kind of went, oh, maybe I can make a living with real people, working with real people. Yeah, and it is fun.
There's a huge demand for it. That's just been really continuous since it kind of broke onto the scene. So what was the inspiration? And I know that this season is really the second season, and it's been able to be revived from the original show, which was in 2014. So what was the inspiration to create the Great Halloween Fright Fight?
Well, either one of us could answer this, but with Christmas Light Fight, of course, while we were shooting the very first Christmas Light Fight, it was pretty obvious that we could definitely do a Halloween version of that same format. And Felicia and I both worked on developing the format of the show, along with the other executive producer, Max Swedlow. And it's a very simple, straightforward format. And so while we were out there, people were like, hey, you should do a Halloween, version of this. And we're like, yeah, So anyway, it turned out that ABC had a slot open that next year. In 2014, and they said, hey, can you throw together a quick Halloween 1 hour? And we're like, yeah. so we just really quickly cast and shot and edited that same year, and managed to get the 1 hour on in time for Halloween. And it was really fun, and we could tell that there was a ton of potential there, because the format is rock solid, and it applies to Halloween just as well as it does to Christmas. And then it just, long story, but basically it's rare that any broadcast network has room on their October schedule because of all the dramas that they have. And so ABC didn't have that slot available in the year, and then the years to come, scripted was really doing well. And then it wasn't until this year that they said, hey, can you bring back that Halloween? And of course, we've been writing letters and emails and making phone calls for 9 years to bring Halloween back, because we were sick and tired of hearing everybody on the road asking us, when are you going to bring the Halloween show back? So this is the year, and we're grateful to be expanding the franchise to Halloween. We hope it continues.
Yeah, I hope so too. That's great that
it's some serious dedication.
They were able to bring it back and really have this as, the two biggest holidays are Halloween and Christmas, and there's so much that you can do with decorations, and bringing people in and bringing people together.
Yeah,
Brady, you mentioned the format. Can you tell us a little bit more about the format of the show, contestants, episodes, prizes, anything like that?
Sure. Felicia, do you mind doing it? We both know it very well, but I think Felicia would be particularly good at it.
Yeah, so our Christmas Light Fight or our Halloween Fright Fight have the same format as Brady mentioned. Every episode, 4 families from across the United States and one time Canada are visited by our judges, who are design experts, and we showcase the haunts that they do on a normal basis and what they do for their community. And at the end of the episode, the judge awards one of them $50,000. And usually our contestants just put it towards their haunt.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can so see that for us. It's like, nope, we're putting this right back into it. Now let's see what we can do.
Yeah, so many
It's hard.
homeowners were on shoestring budgets, and it's
Mhm.
what can we cobble together? So, anything that we can get that's not
Oh,
required to be used to something else is going to get directed right back into the haunt.
Yeah,
if we,
even though the $50,000 is a lot of money, it's and it's, by the way, it's 1 in 4 chance of winning $50,000, right? If you
Hmm.
get on the show, so it's
right,
Right.
pretty good odds, and that's multiple episodes, But it's a little bit hard for us to tell sometimes whether they are motivated by the money, because it seems like most of the time when we ask the question, they say, "Oh, it's all about the trophy." They want that trophy. But I'm sure the $50,000 helps. But
sure,
it's hard to tell sometimes.
no one's turning $50,000 down, but that trophy and that title, oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
that's I can only imagine. Leslie, if we come across that kind of money, Kay is not allowed to access to the $50,000. That
Oh,
will be gone
no.
within an
That
hour.
that I will budget and dole that out in small doses
Mm-mm.
because otherwise we're going to
Kay's
end up with
not
a
allowed
household of animatronics and no space for anything else.
within the hour.
Oh yeah,
And
easily.
But a lot of our families also are really charitable. So not everyone just puts the money towards their
Mhm.
haunt. Some of them, we see it a lot with Christmas, but we also see it with Halloween that people like to raise money for causes in their community. And so I think, people do this because they're passionate about bringing fun to their community and they love
mhm,
haunting. And the prize is just like an awesome bonus.
right,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
that's the cherry on top for sure. And I know, like Leslie, was it the Southern Maryland Food Bank that Kay got entered into a
Yes.
partnership with a few years ago, or just the admission at the door was like some just a can of food, something like that they could donate to
Yeah,
the food bank.
it was our 2020, our COVID
Yeah.
haunt, which was
Oh
going to
yeah.
be this huge walkthrough, but we had to make this quick shift because of COVID and
Oh.
turn it into a drive-by haunt. And one of the big things that we did with that is put up a bin to collect food for the Maryland food bank. And John, do you remember how much we were able to collect just that one
Oh
year?
man. Oh, I'd have to look it up, but
I
I
think it
feel
was
like it was like
easily 400, 500 pounds of
yeah,
food.
I was gonna say I'm thinking 300 or 400 at least, conservatively.
Hmm. Yeah, so that's a big part of the type of haunting that we do is really again not just to bring some fun to the community, but also to give back.
Right. 100%. And Felicia, you mentioned we have these four families on the show. How are the contestants chosen?
So we have an amazing team, and we're lucky that many of them come back year after year. And they put a lot of thought and energy into searching. They'll search the internet, they'll search social media. They also go to conventions and recruit there.
Ooh.
And so both Brady and I have been lucky enough to go to some, both Halloween and Christmas conventions. And it's really fun to get out there and meet people. But we are always searching. In fact, we are actively casting, looking to see if there's enough great material out there for future Great Halloween Fright Fights.
Oh,
So
okay.
to our listeners, if you're
Yeah.
interested, where can our listeners go if they want to try and get on the show?
FrightFightCasting.com. So FrightFightCasting.com. Say that 3 times fast.
Excellent. And all of these links will all be put in our show notes when we
Mhm.
post it. So that way anybody who comes to listen will have full access to be able to get all the information they need and hopefully give you guys more material to keep this going.
Yeah, and it's probably obvious why we're casting now. It
Yeah.
doesn't do much good to cast in June.
Right.
There has already been discussion about a season 3. It's not for 100%, but there has been discussion about it, and so ABC
Okay.
basically greenlit the casting
Mhm.
now so that we can get the word out and really ask the homeowners and the haunters to get video. I mean, that's the key, really. We can't go to all
Mhm.
these locations and film, and so everything
Sure.
is cast by video. So anybody who out there is listening who's got a haunt and you think
Yeah.
maybe you're good enough for Christmas for Halloween Fright Fight, just get really good video. That is the key, and upload that to the application with the application to the website, and our casting team will look at it, and then we won't really do anything with it honestly until I don't know, July or something like that, Felicia,
Sure.
maybe even later.
Makes sense.
But we will we will follow up, of course, if you have a haunt that would work for a season 3.
Yeah, right
Judging
now it's
from
all
the
about recruitment. Later it's
Mm-hmm.
selection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, build your
I was
base and
just
then like get the green
Yeah.
light to be able to say, hey, look, I do have significant interest in having this continue, which I think there really is. I've heard
Oh yeah.
a lot, even among the haunt community. This show is very well recognized, and everything I've seen is how excited they all are that it's come back.
Yeah, we're
Oh yeah.
appreciative to ABC too. I mean, there are a lot of shows have been done over the years on TLC, cable shows, and of course, there's all the Halloween cookie baking shows, all of that
Sure.
stuff. But fortunately, ABC gives us just enough money to to be able to go out there around the country and document the haunts in a proper way. And we think that is doing justice to all the
Yeah.
talent that's out there. So it's nice if we can, if the ratings can be reasonably strong, especially this coming Sunday
Yeah.
night, which is the 29th, October 29th. We really want people to watch the show or DVR it and watch it on Hulu. It's on Hulu. More people to watch it on Hulu, the better. So it's important that people watch it. Otherwise, they may not do a season 3. So anyway, we're putting the word out.
Yeah, absolutely. And for our listeners, it's important to watch. So if you're thinking about entering, you need to watch because you may have to up your game. We watched the episode that aired last weekend. Oh my goodness, that I have no
Beautiful.
words.
Beautiful. All four of those haunts were magnificent. Each of them so unique. The four families, everyone did such an amazing job with all of their builds and creativity, putting everything together.
Well, that's nice to hear. I'm not sure, Felicia, you've probably gotten some feedback, but I have not heard any feedback yet from anybody in the haunt community about the show that aired this past Sunday. So that's nice to hear.
I've heard great feedback, and also from the people who did the first season 9 years ago. They've reached out to me and said not only are they so excited we're continuing the legacy, but they were so thrilled to see how the haunts over the past 9 years have really like elevated. So it's, I think it's all around.
Yeah. So again, kind of to that point, what other changes have you guys seen from the first season to this season in this kind of expansion growth of the Halloween industry and home haunters?
Yeah. Anything in your world, Felicia, that pops up?
Yeah, I think the integration of technology has been really amazing, and particular animatronics and custom built homemade animatronics is just out of this world. I think, in our first episode, we showcased some projection mapping that was really, a higher level than we've seen on either version of the show. It's just the integration of technology. I think some of the foam carving and whatnot, I don't know that that's advanced too much over the years, although people do always amaze us. But yeah, we love the tech.
I also noticed on the Brit family, the lighting that they put together in their front yard was astonishing. It was like professional lighting, and it made a huge difference. Basically it was a yard that had a whole bunch of stuff in the yard and they had a facade in front of their house. But boy, when that wall sort of moves, and the judge sees that whole yard at first, it was extremely colorful and very Halloween, and it's easy to underestimate the impact that good lighting has. So anyway, I don't think we quite had that 9 years ago. Not that doesn't have anything to do with technology, but that is something that I think the audience really responds to on a deeper level.
Yeah, that one was great because again, watching them adjust the mapping and offset it just that little bit, you can see just how much it changes and makes it look slightly off. I think a lot of kind of what we've seen is all of this technology has been around for the entertainment industry in, to varying degrees, but it's finally reaching the point where either the creation or the purchase of it is becoming much more accessible for home haunters. And again, the technology and the software just to do light mapping and what you can do with that, and what you can do with foam and making these things accessible. The industry's taking advantage of it left, right, and center.
Yeah,
100%.
And then at the same time, the Herman family. I don't know if you saw that. That was the it was just a garage. It was a 2-car garage.
Oh,
incidentally, I actually do know Sean Herman.
Oh, okay. All right. Full
so
disclosure.
That was great to see his haunt on there. We've been talking with him a bit to try and get him on the show.
Oh, that's great. Well, the thing that struck me the most is their commitment to authenticity. So it's really easy, I think, maybe even more so with Halloween than with Christmas, maybe, because you have characters, and you can just kind of throw stuff up there and people walk by it, and it's dark, and you can probably get away with a few extra things. But
Right.
Herman decided to really make sure that everything they had in that display was authentic. I mean, they literally go to antique shows and flea markets and find the real dynamite box. Like, it actually is a box that says dynamite on it. They don't just buy some crate and spray paint, dynamite on it or TNT. They find the real thing. And I think that when you do that for an entire hunt, and you feel it when you go in there, you just go, oh wow, they really went for it. These people are like artistes,
Right.
put their hunt together. And so I think that's another thing that I don't know if that's happened in the hunt industry, where it's sort of moving more towards an actual authentic organic experience rather than just try to scare somebody.
There's definitely
we
hunts
appreciate
that
it.
are, again, that is something they want to build, is that authentic experience, and really kind of, for us and for our hunt, it's grounding people in the story and having a storyline that goes all the way through. But with that ties into making things, period appropriate, or thematically appropriate, and a lot of that does require going out and finding or creating the right props, the right sets, to really make it a whole experience and make it
something to set you apart.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the stories are really fun for us, because we cast in advance and we hear what the sort of the story is, and then we get there, and it's challenging. All your listeners should know it is challenging to transfer some of these stories to television, because it's a very short segment. It's just 8 minutes or whatever, and we have a backstory for like a minute and a half that sort of tells the home package for the family. So it's just a matter of minutes where we have to the audience has to grasp, okay, what's happening here? Who's the bad guy? Whatever it is.
Right.
So we, even on the show that we already aired, and then the show that's coming up this Sunday, we did unfortunately have to truncate quite a bit, because it was also good and well thought out. But at the same time, simplicity can definitely rule the roost for television.
Yeah.
I think Sean and the Herman's Haunt is a great example of that. It was a really concise, clear story. And that was perfect for TV. Like, it's right there. Yeah. Instantly get it.
Yep.
Yeah. And just,
well, go ahead, Beth.
Just the scaling of the four haunts.
Oh,
size, technique, different styles. You could see, the McCabe family, huge walk through all these animatronics. You have the Herman family, just here's our haunt, here's our story. The Dunahee family, just each different, fairy tale and how it's brought together and how they used characters was fantastic. And then just the Wicked Manor, again, the beauty of that facade and how they all put that all together.
Well, and the storybook Hollow is the one I wanted to bring up. I hadn't seen one where that was such a unique theme that they had, and then just to go through there and watch it and realize that almost all of that was made by the family. So much of that, you just see, man, I bet they picked this up at Home Depot or Spirits or something like that. It's just like, this is all made by the family. That's incredible work.
Yeah, it goes to show you that, and then like McCabe, on the flip side, a lot of that was purchased. There's no doubt about it. But the way it was handled and the way it was laid out and the whole thing, Absolutely. It all worked out. It worked out great. So just, for your listeners, it's like, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be, as long as whatever you're going to do it to the max. And I'll tell you, the Dunahee family really, really put a lot of work into that. I mean, when I walked up to the dragon, the first dragon that we walked up to, and I looked at it up close, I'm like, oh my God, she carved that? Like, it must have taken months to carve that dragon. And then she did multiple dragons. And then there were all these other things that she carved. She carved a Jack and the Beanstalk that goes all the way up, and she's using, pool noodles and all these, and rebar and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are an artist, a true artist, like Burning Man kind of level, like artist. And I thought I just was really impressed. And she was so humble about it. And it was easy to underestimate the amount of work and talent and time that was put into that, because you just walk by and you figure, oh, some Imagineers from Disney came over and put this together for her, but no, she did it all herself.
Disney, if you're looking,
yeah, seriously.
Look her way.
Disney, all of these individuals in our industry are just so creative and clever with taking tools and materials that they have access to and turning them into these just magnificent creations.
Yeah, wait till you see the next episode. It's There's a couple of there's like
I
I can tell you there's like a ride. There's a ride in one of the in a
Nice.
house.
oh man,
Oh, excellent.
Around a
Excellent.
house and through a house. It's unbelievable that anybody, any home owner could even conceive of it and then actually execute it. It's fantastic.
and anytime it makes you forget this is a house. This is a residential just residential location. But
Right.
and actually, speaking of reminding our listeners, that's an excellent point. So you mentioned the next episode. That's next Sunday, October 29th, correct? At 10 Eastern, 9 Central
Yes. Yep, that's right. 10
on
o'clock
ABC.
p.m., which is not a great time slot, but we know all your listeners are going to tape it or DVR it, so that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, our community, they're a late listening bunch. I think they're a bunch of night owls. They'll tune
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. And
Well,
again,
thanks
especially
for the
for a show that just highlights our industry and the home
Yeah,
haunting industry in such a positive and supportive manner. Really, really beautiful what you guys are doing. So are we just
absolutely.
doing
It's
2 episodes this season, or how many episodes are we on?
ooh,
That's correct. Yep, this is two
Okay.
of two coming up this Sunday, and so yeah, it was.
nice.
We were happy to do that, and we would
Excellent.
of course love to do more in future years. But that probably, just behind the scenes, that would be unlikely to happen on ABC. That they would
Hmm.
give us 6 hours, or something like that, with
Sure.
like they do with Christmas Light Fight. So there's always a possibility of migrating to one of the
On the streaming platforms.
Disney-owned streaming platforms. Yeah, that's sort of the hope.
Hmm.
And and if you do, for our listeners, if you do happen to miss that on ABC, it is streaming on Hulu. So make sure to check it out.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm gonna have to watch it a few more times because
Right?
the sheer number of ideas that kept coming to me watching all of these other haunts was just so exciting.
I was hitting that rewind, like the 10 seconds button, because I was writing notes. And then I pop up and I see something different. Like, oh, wait, hold on.
I need to go
I need to
I
rewatch
go
love
that
back.
again.
I love that. That's so fun. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, there's certainly no shortage of haunts out there. I mean, maybe you guys have an idea of how many home haunts are like in the country, but it's got to be in the thousands and thousands and thousands, right?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
easily. I mean, even if you
Yeah.
just do, significant decorations of yard haunts, my neighborhood alone, there's easily 20 to 30 people who have, not quite as elaborate as what we're seeing on Fright Fight, but definitely have just these fantastic displays built up that they, clearly put a lot of time and energy into.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. And it's Leslie, it's like you said, it's so nice to see this attention paid to this section of the industry. You see so many like adjacent kind of show, like the Halloween baking, the Halloween, decorating for the actual haunted houses. You see so many things where like, God, we're so close to getting that spotlight. And then this just shines it on the industry, and it's amazing. We love it, and it showcases everyone's creativity.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we really
Well,
hope it inspires people. Like, you don't have to do a full-on home hunt. I personally decorate what I feel I can do to the max every year. And
Hmm.
and like, watching this show gave me so many ideas, and I even tried to do 1,000% of what I thought the Dunning House was. And it's inspiring and it's exciting, and we hope that we bring a lot of ideas to people, and that they go and look at their neighborhood haunts more and appreciate them.
Mhm.
Lisa's being humble. She throws a rockin' Halloween party every year. It's tomorrow night. Very excited.
Not tomorrow night. If you show up
Saturday night.
tomorrow night, I'm putting you to work on the decoration.
Hey everyone, Keone here. I had to cut in for just a moment because as I was editing, I realized that they were having so much fun, they didn't actually put in a commercial break. But we have to take a commercial break. So let's take a moment, hear from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with Brady and Felicia.
We decorated our place a little bit for Halloween. I was told by my 3-year-old that we need more spiders. Apparently, there's not enough. I turn around, and by the time I do, he's attacking me with the spiders we have.
So
And
clearly he needs more spiders.
well, I can just see when he's old enough, I'm gonna come home and see that he's gone, and I'll know he's been drafted to help build the haunt. I know that that's in the future. Yeah, that's about right.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. It's such a great way to bring, friends and family together. Like, hey, let's go build this and put this together, and then everybody gets to have a say and participate and support each other.
Mhm.
And again, I think that's
That's
why I
the
loved
thing.
like all the families that were doing this. It's just
Hmm. It's such a fun
regardless of
thing to
how,
do together.
involved and excited they are, they're all coming together to support each other and to, create these just magical experiences.
Well, and
Right.
it's funny because I know we've been asked in the past, like, why do you do this? Why do you set this up? And that's the underlying thing. It's fun. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. It's a good time, and you get to spend time with people that you care about while doing it. It's not too many things better than that.
Yeah.
I also think you probably feel a little obligated to the kids in the community, the kids in the neighborhood. Like, oh my gosh, if you didn't do it, just how would you feel? All these kids expecting to see your haunt again.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. We actually, our primary haunt is usually based in Maryland, but since Kay's now working on the West Coast,
Hmm.
we've had a number of his neighbors and members of his community reach out and be like, "Are you guys doing the haunt this year?" And every time we have to be like, "No, not until maybe next year when hopefully we'll be back in
Hmm.
the area." So it's something that they've really looked forward to and are, I think, again, once back in Maryland and building, everyone's going to be so excited to have that back.
It's so funny how the parents of the kids get so into it, get so obsessed with. You need to have it back. We want you to come back.
Right. Well, we'll be around as long as ABC wants us or somebody wants us to make episodes. It sounds like with the thousands of haunts out there and the enthusiasm, we could be doing a decade just like we've done Christmas. So we hope that all happens.
Yeah, easily. And Hunting You is happy to help, reach our
Oh
our
yeah,
listeners. And again, guys, if you've got something and you're proud of it, and you all should be, videotape it and send it in.
yeah, absolutely.
No, absolutely no reason not to.
I will say to all the listeners, it is very, very important when you take video footage, you need to hold your phone horizontally so that it matches the shape of a television. Do not film vertically so that it's perfect for TikTok. That is not what we use on
Ah,
Halloween. It
good.
is
That's a
so
good tip.
very important to hold your phone horizontally. It actually will increase your chances of getting chosen, because if we have two displays that we like equally as much, but one has good footage and one doesn't, guess which one we're going with, right? We need
Yeah,
the
gotta
horizontal
have the
footage.
footage.
So yes, please, please, please. That's like the number one mistake we get when people apply online. And we need video, not just photos.
Dude,
What
that is a
other,
great note.
yeah, what other suggestions can you give to our haunters
Yeah.
to, again, highlight their haunts to
Any
have a
tips and
chance to get on the
tricks?
show?
One of the things that we run into on the Christmas show is that enough thought has not been put into the specific, I don't want to say theme, but something specific
Hmm.
that we can
Hmm.
get a handle on, the audience can get a handle on. Like, let's say if you're doing Christmas lights and you just want to do all blue lights, like, okay, right, just that alone makes you stand out from all the others. If you just do a traditional light show, or a traditional display, it's a little bit hard even for the ABC executives and for us to look at it and go, oh, that's something different that we haven't seen before. So I think in the haunt community, it's a little bit different because you are so story driven. It seems to me so far, we're not going to have any trouble finding unique concepts. But if there is a haunt that's out there that really has just been kind of general, like lots of skeletons and lots of ghosts and lots of this and lots of that, and it's just sort of a mishmash, and we don't see instantly like what is the theme, like what's your introduction to your segment. We're the so and so family, and we do X, and then I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, I want to wait and see that because I don't know what that is or I haven't seen that before. So being unique is for me anyway is very, very important. But it seems easier in Halloween generally.
And I will say too, like to Brady's point, maybe we're not saying everyone has to have one theme throughout. I think in Halloween, there's also a lot of haunts that do, like, if they're doing a traditional haunted house, each room has a theme. Okay, well,
Hmm.
that's clear. That's a clear point of view. We have a traditional haunted house and every room has its theme. Whatever your viewpoint is, right? So maybe it's not as black and white as all blue or all skeletons, but it needs to have like a really clear point of view.
Mhm.
And so I'm just emphasizing what Brady said. He's totally correct in that is what helps us stand out. So, for example, you saw in the first episode, we had a more traditional haunted house. We had a fantastical fantasy world one. We had something with a lot of technology. We had something that was like small but really mighty. And all of them had unique themes and clear points of views, clear artistic styles. And that really made them stand out to us. We had hundreds of great haunts apply. And if you did apply and you didn't make it, I want to thank you. Kristen and I personally watched every single application. Shout out to Kristen, who does our amazing casting and is actually up for an award in the Casting Society of America. Is that what it's called, Brady?
I forget. Yeah, I think so.
PSA.
Nice.
We're proud of her. She's been with our team since the second season of Christmas Life Fight. It's fun.
Yeah. So even if you didn't make it this year, work on, your video and reapply. And we're always happy to give feedback. If we can't give individual feedback to all the hundreds of applicants, but
Sure.
If you're getting close, if you're like rapping on the door, we will definitely make sure to keep guiding you in the right direction. And the next episode has amazing themes as well. Like everything is very distinct, and some of them are even bigger than the ones we saw in the first episode.
Oh, that's so exciting to hear.
And we take nominations too, by the way. It doesn't have to be you the homeowner applying. You can, if you know of a haunt down the street, and you can nominate them, or at least go knock on their door and tell them to apply.
That's awesome.
We'll
Speaking of the next episode, can you guys give? We don't want to give away too much, but can you guys give us any sneak peeks?
Yeah, it's Tanya's episode. So Carter Osterhaus and Taniya Nayak are the fantastic judges for Christmas Life Fight, and now they're doing Halloween, which is great. I don't know if anybody remembers, but it was Michael Maloney and Sabrina Soto who actually did the original Halloween episode 9 years ago. Nice. But Carter and Tanya, the funny thing is, the sneak peek is that they're just scared. They're actually scared. Like you saw Carter fall down, right? He was not faking it. He was so scared he actually fell down backwards.
That was such a great jump scare. That was beautifully done. The timing,
oh my goodness.
The phone is the focus, and then the side. Oh, gorgeous, absolutely so well done.
You teach a class on that, right?
That's well, actually,
that is a master class.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a lot of what our podcast is taking all of our experiences that we've had and the haunts that we've visited and all the research that we've done in building ours, and saying, hey, these are the types of things that really help make your haunt that much more whatever it is that you want it to be. That's really the whole premise of our show is, people who want to get into it, people who want to bring their haunts to the next level. We're open for any and every topic on how-tos, builds, designs, the whole 9 yards.
Well, we'll give you a little sneak peek if you'd like. That we can just tell you what the basic concept of the four of them. The first one is, it's kind of an animatronic Broadway show in the front of their house.
Oh my goodness!
Can I explain that? If you guys know the community, they're in New Orleans. So anyway, they're great, and it's a lot of fun. And Tanya just has a big smile on her face, and it's a great way to start the show because it's just fun. It's not even scary; it's just fun. Actually, more fun than you would expect. You're expecting something else from the skeletons, and all of a sudden they break out in song and dance. It's pretty fun. Then we have another one that is the ride that I was telling you about, and that is fantastic. As soon as Tanya doesn't know it's a ride until she's inside, and she's like, "Wait a minute, what? There's a ride?" And it's like, it's like the haunted mansion. It's really, really good. And then there's a full haunted house walkthrough. Full on walkthrough, classic maze with all kinds of things and scary characters jumping out at you, and it's just fantastic. And what's the fourth one? I can't remember the fourth one. Felicia.
The very impressive pirate ship display.
Oh yes.
Okay. I'm down.
Right, yeah. Which is just front yard, but front yard to the max, man. It is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're all four of them. Like I said, you can just tell just from by describing them, they're all very distinct,
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun with them. And we just want to shout out, just in case any of the people who come on Christmas Fight or on Fright Fight, we just want to thank everybody. Like, it takes a lot of time to work with us. We're no fun. You got to fill out paperwork and you got to do all this stuff. But we just appreciate that everybody's just jumping in and doing what needs to be done for, to be on television, to be on ABC. And it's just there's a lot of gratitude on our side for the cooperation that we get from the community. So thank you to everybody.
And I take issue with what Brady just said. We are a lot of fun. In fact, families will email me year after year saying they miss us. We felt like part of the family. When are we ever going to come back? How could they possibly do it again? So once you get through the paperwork part, it's like doing your haunt every year, except that you have this amazing once in a lifetime memento and fond memories. So yeah, it is fun, although it's maybe a little stressful because you have to do it a little early. You have to fill out some background checks and whatever, but it's all worth it. And we hope we get a chance to do this for many, many years and showcase every single one of your listeners when they're ready.
That is so cool.
We're going to have to make a lot of trophies. We've got to make a ton of trophies. These trophies are 2 feet tall. They're amazing.
When I saw that in the
everyone wants
first episode,
one.
I was gonna say, yeah, I kind of want one of those. Like, I don't need to add that. Leslie, what are the odds that, knowing Keone's love of both Halloween and Broadway musicals, that he passes out before during the first episode? He's just faint from joy.
Easily 85%.
I'm pretty sure that's a lock. We are probably combining his two favorite things, so he's gonna love that.
I mean, at that point, I'm not much better because Skeletons, Broadway, and New Orleans, you can't lose.
No, that is a recipe for success right there.
And if you want a sneak peek of the upcoming episode, which is this Sunday on ABC, you can go to Hulu, watch last week's episode. Is it last week or was it this? I guess it's technically still this week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, there's a sneak peek and you get to see a little bit of what's coming your way.
Yet another reason to watch it on Hulu.
Right? Yeah. I was going to say, you need a couple of watches. So schedule yourself for a couple of viewings. We'll make sure that, I know we have a copy of that, so we'll make sure we put that on all of our socials. You'll be able to look at it on Facebook, facebook.com/huntingyou. We'll put it up on Instagram as well, which we're at Hunting University, and our YouTube channel at Hunting You. Throwing those out there before I forget.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's gonna be so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's I can't tell you just how excited we are that this show is back and that you guys were able to come on our show, and come on our podcast, because this is really what we're all working towards. And even though Kay can't be here, this is his dream, is to build these haunts. And his goal is to go pro, and how you do that is doing all of our trial and error by being home haunters and amateurs. Exposure is
a funny thing, isn't it? I mean, whether it's online or on a TV show, we've had people from Christmas Fight Fight have definitely gotten job offers and are currently in a career because of being on our show. And that's pretty fun for us. It's like, wow, okay, they just took their hobby and you put it in front of a lot of people, and you never know who's going to be watching. So I would imagine there are a lot of people in the haunt community who have been out there who are like, can I do this for a living? Like, can I figure out a way to make money at this?
Right.
And
that is the dream.
Yeah. But it definitely helps to have, a really professionally produced, segment, and to really show off the talent. And we hope that we wish everyone the best in the futures.
That's another thing I really liked about how you guys shot all the little segments, is every single one of them had some sort of commentary or demonstration about how they built or designed something. And again, just making that information accessible and showing this creativity of what they're using, how they're building this. And it really was worked in so seamlessly, just from on the production side. It was just right here, here's the information, and it just flowed so seamlessly into with everything else.
Yeah, well, of course, our hope is that people, like Felicia said, and this happened on the Christmas show, people started getting into Christmas lights because of the show, like who had never had a Christmas lights display ever. And they were like, "Oh wow, maybe I can start doing that." Or the kids are like, "Hey, Dad, get out there, and mom, get out there and do some lights." And then it has happened numerous times. It's not like it was a one off, but we've had people who within 3 years got on the show. Usually it's like 3, 4, maybe 5 years, and they get on the show. And so Christmas is definitely a self-sustaining casting situation now, which is really fun to know that we can go on forever because people are being inspired, and kids are doing it. There's one, McCabe was 17 years old, right? He's
That was
amazing.
That was great.
That was so cool.
Yeah, we have another girl that's doing Christmas Light Fight that she started watching Christmas Light Fight when she was like 2 or 3 years old. And she's now on the show as an 11-year-old, 13-year-old, something like that.
Gosh,
so that's kind of, that's pretty neat. So anyway, just we hope that that happens with the haunts too. That people get into it, and learn from the show, learn from all the things that we're demonstrating, and they take those tips.
Yeah. Okay, so is there a place where people can go to learn more about the haunts and the haunters on the show?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked. Most of our haunters have all been posting on Facebook with the hashtag Fright Fight. And you'll be that's probably the fastest way versus just Googling them, is if you go to Facebook, do hashtag Fright Fight, you will see everyone from the season. They're posting little segments of their episode and talking about the experience. And so it's a great place to start following them, and you can learn all about their experience through there. They're all doing lots of news interviews about the experience, and those are being shared on Facebook as well. I'm sure the other social platforms, but I think Facebook seems to be the easiest place to track it. What's even funny is we have people from the first season 9 years ago reposting again with the hashtag Fright Fight, talking about resharing things from their experience. So it's a really fun place to kind of find all of the fans and all of the contestants.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's I love what you guys are doing. I really do. And it is so encouraging to see that happening and giving everybody so many opportunities.
Just injects more passion into an already passionate, community. So, yeah, absolutely.
So are we going to see you at Transworld, you guys? Are we going to see you there?
Possibly.
Man, I hope so.
Possibly. Our usual haunts are Fear Expo and Texas Haunters, and then Midsummer Scream. Those are the ones we've been able to go to most consistently, one or a handful of us, depending on who's available and work and schedules and everything like that. But we do try and make it to as many conventions as we can, given our own limitations of timing.
We found quite a few haunts for these 2 episodes from Transworld. We were not greenlit for casting at that point. And AJ Rochester, who's one of our casting people, she was there. And we were like, hey, while you're there, just kind of go over to the Halloween side, hand out some flyers just in case. And she got a bunch, and then ABC told us that they wanted to do the show. And fortunately, we had some haunters in our back pocket because of that.
Excellent. Yeah, the conventions are definitely expanding. There's more and more regional, local, and other just conventions that are being built up as part of the industry. Transworld is the big one for sales, but a lot of other of these expos and conventions have found their own little niche, either in sales marketing or bringing home hunters together and generating classes. The classes at the conventions are probably one of the most unparalleled experiences that you can have, especially as a home hunter.
100%.
Right.
Well, we've found this community to be so welcoming. We're really grateful that, we haven't had anyone say, oh, you guys do Christmas or whatever. Like, everyone is just so welcoming. And we both love Halloween personally, so we're happy to be in the world. And so it's been a really nice transition to slide back into home haunts, because I saw an amazing camaraderie even between contestants. Like, when we were trying to get them to say competitive things like, we want to win, or we're going to crush the competition type of lines, they would be like, oh, sure. I don't know. They're all our friends and we want them to win too.
Right.
It's a very collaborative industry.
Right.
That's growing, especially with social media and being able to share. Oh, I do it this way. Oh, you do it this way. Oh, this is a cool technique to do it like this.
Right. Exactly.
and no matter how many, pirate haunts or skeleton haunts, zombie haunts are out there, each one of them has their own different flair. And really the industry is learning that we can be more successful by collaborating and competing.
That's right. That's right. It's nice to hear. And everyone's doing it for the right reasons. That's the main thing for me, just as a producer who wants to tell stories about people. You want to know that they're motivated by the right thing. And it's just so, and I'm just rehashing it, but it's just so nice to go out there and ask the question, so why do you get into this? And how did you get into it? Or why do you do it? And it's always driven by the community and wanting to provide some fun and entertainment, to the kids and to the families down the street. And that's just really heartwarming. And I think, I think the haunt community should not underestimate their impact on like not only just the community, but like the whole country, all the Christmas lights and all the haunt displays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are bringing people together, especially after COVID. Those are bringing communities together. Yes. And I tell you, I happen to live on a street. Felicia said we're both into Halloween. I happen to live on a street that does a giant Halloween. Like we have 2,000 people on my street walking my street, and we all do huge, not haunted, but certainly we have like ghosts hanging across the street kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I see neighbors, that night, only that night, over each year, and I see their kids growing up, and I think it really pulls our community together. And I just think it's just wonderful that someone would take that much time and effort to build something in front of their house, so that the community can enjoy it, and it has long-lasting impact, especially on these kids. They see the creativity and they see the passion, and who knows what they're going to go on and do.
Yeah. So, or
big compliments.
Our Keone's story is he went to a haunted house on his block as a kid, went through it and went, well, heck, I can create something scarier than this.
Right.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Better than this.
And yeah, there's so many reasons that we're all drawn to the haunt industry, but ultimately, I feel that our goals and our hopes are the same, and that's camaraderie, community, and giving back.
Agreed.
Love it.
Alrighty, so we are coming up on an hour, which is usually about how long we try and keep our episodes. Is there anything else that you guys want to share about the show, about what's upcoming, about Christmas episodes that are going to come up as well? What else do you guys have?
Yeah, it's probably not a stretch for your listeners to be watching Christmas Light Fight. I totally can see why they would cross over. And
I think they will.
We're super grateful to be shooting our 12th season of Christmas Light Fight. Which is really fun. Excuse the noise in the background. My Halloween costume's here. Actually, that's what that is. I just ordered it from Party City and it just got delivered.
Nothing like waiting till the last minute.
I know. That's really funny.
Can we ask what it is?
Yeah. Well, yes. It's a long story, but I have a black eye right now, so I'm going as a boxer.
Okay, that's solid.
Excellent.
That's well played.
Great use of natural makeup.
Right.
But anyway, Christmas, we are grateful to be able to document Christmas displays and haunts, around the country, and meet the most incredible people in all this. I don't know. We've been to, I think there's only like 4 or 5 states that we haven't been to. So we're just blessed to be able to meet you all and see what you do and get inspired by you and spread your talents.
Very well said.
Thank you. Again, it's been absolutely fantastic to have you guys on the show talking about Fright Fight on ABC and Hulu. Second episode airs on Sunday the 29th. Do not miss it. And if you haven't seen the first episode, it is streaming on Hulu. Definitely take advantage. For all of our listeners who have home haunts, are building or putting them together, or going to be joining us for planning for next year, get those ideas out there, get them put together, and for all reasons, for absolutely every single reason, send in your haunts and apply to be on Fright Fight, so that way this show can have the same longevity that Light Fight has.
That's right. Operators are standing by. casting producers are standing by to watch your video. Well, thank you, Leslie. Thank you, John. Thank you for just inviting us. We really appreciate being here and spreading the word.
Yeah. Thank you guys for taking the time to do this with us. We were so excited when we saw this. Like, I got the text message from Kay about it. I was literally rereading it like 5 or 6 times. Like, wait a second, but is this right? He must have left something out. Something's off. So we are just so excited to be involved and to have you guys on.
Great, thank you.
that you're all for home haunts, and that's what we're about. So let's make more together.
Yeah, excellent. So again, thank you both so much.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Yes, and happy Halloween.
Nice meeting you both. Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you.
Happy Halloween,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Bye-bye.
Well, I think that went well. They were really nice. I like them.
Yeah, I love what they're doing. You know, the four families for the first episode absolutely killed it. Hands down, no questions. 4 spectacular haunts, and I'm really looking forward to Sunday's episode and our final 4.
That woman on that did the Storybook Hollow. She needs to be a Disney Imagineer.
Oh yeah, beautiful job.
Disney, hire that woman.
Disney, hire all 4 of these families because their work is amazing.
It's going to be incredible. My only regret is we can't, like you said, we need to give some case somebody to do that. We can't drop more F-bombs in there just purely out of spite to make him do that. But he's going to have enough trouble listening to this, and I'm pretty sure every 3 or 4 minutes he's just going to slam his fist on the table purely out of frustration for not being here. So that's punishment enough, I think.
Yeah. We love you, Kane. We're sorry.
It's your fault. It's your fault, Kay. You know what you did. Yeah. Supportive, right? That's what we're doing.
We're always supportive of each other.
Oh. Oh man, that was fun though. We had a good time. They were great, and I know we mentioned this on it. It is so nice for so long. Home hunting is such a. Every time I tell someone I have a podcast, I'm like, "Oh, what is it about?" Like home hunting. They tell me they all tell me something like that's pretty niche subject that you have there, and I know it really is. So
it's not. I mean, it's kind of the same with the Christmas light displays. It was kind of this niche thing, and then you keep seeing how it's grown and grown and grown as people realize that it doesn't have to be terrifying. It doesn't have to be, piss your pants scary. It can be dancing skeletons singing Broadway in New Orleans, which I'm really excited to see that.
That's the thing. You see the Storybook Hollow thing. That wasn't like scary. I mean, there's obviously spooky elements, but the goal isn't necessarily to, make you soil yourself with fear. It's, they're telling a story. They're showing off their, artistry. And the same thing. You guys, we joke about this. I'm not a huge Broadway guy. I can't wait to see skeletons on Broadway. I want to see that.
Yeah,
I need that in my life.
This really, I feel like this show is absolutely highlighting what we here at Haunting You have been talking about and advocating for, which is the sheer wonderment and creativity and skill that home haunters have. And see this on ABC and not have to worry about having cable to watch cookies on Food Network or HD TV's pieces is just to have it be so accessible and show people really what we are in the haunt. And the first episode, it was all about collaboration and cooperation.
Yep.
And that's what we advocate for. That's what the Chamber of Haunters advocates for. And it was so lovely to see that reflected in this show.
Finally, a product that gets us.
Yes.
It's like you finally have it. Like I said, you see the Halloween baking contests or the costume design contests. You're like, you're so close.
Well, even with that,
just go a little further.
Kind of the other piece with that, though, with those can travel. You can bring everybody to a studio to film. We can't really pack up our haunts
not
and
so
bring
much.
them somewhere, set them up, and then hope that it works out the same. So that Fright Fight is 100% on board, coming to the haunts and seeing what they are as they are. It's huge because it's not something that can travel in. I could take my recipe book and a funny hat, go into a studio and make a fool of myself baking cookies.
Sure, although that does sound like fun.
It does.
But I remember one time we talked about getting the max exposure for Arkham, and that year the Comic-Con was in town, and so we looked at like, okay, how we know it'd be expensive, but how much would a space about the size we need for Arkham? Yeah, so just for fun, just floating it out there. How much would that space be? I don't remember what it was, but it was
It
enough that we
was,
both laughed so much
yeah.
about how what did Nick Fury say? Hilariously outgunned in Avengers. That's about how it goes. That's
Yeah.
how it was. Plus, I think we would also, if we wanted to make money, you'd have to pay for the rights for Batman. Yeah,
Well,
not feasible.
Paul Dini seemed willing to give me the rights for Harley.
That's true. We should ask him. We should ask him. Could you make some calls, Paul? Just help us out.
Just for a night, and you license her out to me.
Oh my God, if they did that, I could see you photocopying that like 15 times and putting it in every room of your house at least a couple times.
Of course.
Well, that's what I do.
Harley.
You did do great, Harley.
Thank you.
Someday we need to bring that back.
I had fun with that.
How could you not have fun with being Harley?
I got to take cheap candy from children.
You get to have the bat. You get the whole night. For listeners, we did it. If you don't know, for our newer listeners, we did an Arkham Asylum haunted house. Go on our social media. We have pictures of all of it, some videos. Leslie was an inspired Harley Quinn that even won some credit from Harley Quinn's creator, Paul Dini. Even said she did a fantastic job. So if you are new or you missed some of our earlier episodes, head over to our social media and check out some of those pictures. We outdid ourselves that year, if I do say so myself.
We're building quite a repertoire here. And to any new listeners who found us because of Fright Fight, welcome.
Ooh.
Absolutely excited to have you here. And
yes.
Hopefully you will continue listening to us. And hopefully this episode and all of our others will inspire you to keep listening and keep building your haunts.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a good time. So give us a few listens and we'll hope we can keep you educated and entertained.
That is our aim. Entertainment and education.
And theft.
Only if I
it's
get
been like
tools.
3 or 4 episodes. Come on. Oh my God.
I didn't say anything. I just said as long as I get power tools. So again, to all of our new listeners as well, this was an unplanned episode, but very excited to have had it. And tune in on Halloween. We are dropping our second annual Halloween Scary Stories episode.
Well, it's going to be a good time. It's a good month. It's a good month for us.
It is. And for everyone who's still building or getting ready to go live this weekend, absolutely the best of luck to you.
Mm-hmm.
You've got
I'd say I'd say we'd never find ourselves in that position, but that's a filthy lie. So.
Oh, that's beyond a filthy lie. We're still fixing things night of.
I just remember getting that fog machine. Like, how long before we open? Like an hour. Like, we can make it.
Must save.
Oh Lord.
Fog machine.
But yes, absolutely. Best of luck on the haunts. Send us pictures. Send us videos.
And send them to Fright Fight.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, if you are picked, I know they get a lot of submissions, but if you're picked, you have a 1 in 4 chance of winning $50,000 and that amazing trophy and the title. I mean, I'm in that same boat, kind of like Felicia mentioned. Yes, $50,000 is great, but man, that trophy looks cool.
It does.
Thank you so much for listening. You can find us Facebook.com/HauntingU, Instagram @HauntingUniversity, YouTube @HauntingU, and you can find the podcast anywhere where podcasts are hosted.
We are easy to find, easy to listen to, and thank you for being with us. And if you're new, hopefully you enjoy and keep listening. We love having you here.
Yeah. Oh, what does Kay say? What's his? Oh, happy haunting. I should know that by now.
From all of us here at Haunting You, happy haunting.
We are incredibly thankful to all the sponsors who make this show possible, particularly our premium sponsors, the Chamber of Haunters and Fear Expo. You can learn more at chamberofhaunters.com and fearexpolive.com. Check out the Haunting You podcast at hauntingyou.com for more information on everything that we do. Haunting You is a production of the Rocky Mountain Home Haunters, LLC. All audio clips and sound effects are used under a Creative Commons Attribution or Public Domain license from Purple Planet Music at purple-planet.com or the Sound Bible at soundbible.com. Please see the show notes for more information on all the clips used in this episode.